So I am here again to give a lecture, and this time it's on Module 2, the sociological perspectives about the self. Okay, so without further ado, let's move on. Mahirap mag-move on, pero kailangan nating mag-move on dito sa lessons natin. Okay, so we are still in Chapter 1, the different perspectives about the self, and in the previous weeks, we had discussed the different philosophical perspectives about the self. We have the perspectives of the ancient philosophers such as Socrates and Plato, and one of the medieval philosophers, Augustine, and the rest of the modern and contemporary philosophers such as Immanuel Kant, Sigmund Freud, among others. This week, we will delve into the sociological perspectives about the self. Specifically, the learning objectives are the following. First, compare and contrast the different views about the self. Second, examine the two components of the self. Describe the concept of the looking glass self and how it affects self-concept. And explain the concept of social comparison and why it is important to human behavior. Before we look into the different views about the sociological self, we must first look into these. When we say that man is a social being, it is assumed that the self is not created in isolation. Our behaviors and likewise our perceptions of ourselves are products of our observation and interaction with other people. Okay, that's why we are regarded as social beings. We socialize with one another. Okay, so these are the topics under the sociological views of the self. We have number 1, self as a product of modernization. The second, we have the social development of the self. And third, we will be tackling looking glass self. Okay, let's proceed with the first one, the self as a product of modernization. Modernization, according to Geertz, is the destruction of the traditional way of life. With modernization, the self becomes the delocalized self. Okay, to understand what the delocalized self means is that ang isipin nyo na lang parang you uproot yourself, okay, you delocalize, okay, tinatanggal mo yung sarili mo from the traditional way of life. Alright? Now, the localized self is a self which is free to seek its own identity, free from theological tradition, free from, customary constraints, and thus deviating from the traditional way of life as we have said a while ago. Self-identity therefore becomes unstable, wherein it is no longer based on, traditional broad definition of the self. Clifford Geertz believes that, yung pag-struggle natin sa pagkakaroon ng individuality natin is only possible in modern society, wherein the religio-theological traditions are replaced by rational scientific calculations, intimate personal affiliations are replaced by exceedingly impersonal associations brought about by urbanized way of life. With this so-called destruction of the traditional way of life, or the self being or becoming delocalized, modernization poses these problems to the self. Number 1, the newfound freedom threatens the very authenticity of the self. Our definition of true love, for example, deviates now from the traditional way of expressing what true love is. Di ba noon, traditionally, nung unang panahon, love was considered as unconditional dapat. And that, hindi mo siya pwedeng tawaging true love if there are any conditions. But now, the traditional concept of true love as unconditional is being redefined since we are now free from the customary constraints or the traditional way of life. Just for example, about true love or unconditional love is that if you truly love the person, you can give up even your career para lang doon sa true love mo. Okay? So, unconditional na ibibigay mo lahat dapat doon sa true love mo. Okay, like for example, instead of choosing yung trabaho mo abroad, your career abroad, you have chosen to stay here para makasama mo yung mahal mo sa buhay. Okay, or yung true love mo, in other words. Okay, but today, true love now is being redefined. Hindi na ganon sa dati na dapat you give up your likes and dislikes, what you want, your career just for the sake of your love. Ngayon, you must try to respect kung ano yung gusto nung partner mo, Kung gusto niya mag-abroad, you must respect that. At hindi mo siya kayang sumbatan na kung talagang mahal mo ako, i-give up mo yung career mo abroad. No, you cannot do that anymore. So, true love is now being redefined. Okay, unlike the traditional definition of what true love is, that it's unconditional. Okay? Next, number 2, human beings haunted by the very images they have created. There may be instances when you feel that there is actually a mismatch between your real self and yung totoong ikaw, your real self, and the images that you have created or what you show to other people. Okay? Third, objectification of the body. Modernization has led many people to treat their bodies as objects. And since we are free from the customary constraints and traditional way of life, diba, as we have said a while ago, we are likewise free to do whatever we want with our bodies, such as extreme body modification, burning out or overly stressing the body, not having enough sleep, and many more. Okay? Next, last but not the least, the humanization of the self. A person, for him or her to be called a human, must possess characteristics that are essentially attributed only to humans, such as reasoning, the ability to choose, the ability to reflect, okay, etc., etc. Now, the humanization happens when we do things that are not in line with these essential characteristics attributable only to human beings. So these are some of the dangers that modernization may bring to the individual. Now, we must always be mindful dapat that since modernization is already with us, kasama na natin si modernization, and it is inevitable, and since our goal in life is still to find our true self or our authentic selves, we must be wary not to fall into the traps of these dangers that we have mentioned. Itong apat na to. Okay? So that's it, guys. The self as a product of modernization becomes delocalized. Now, let's proceed to some of the sociological theories about the self. In this presentation, we have two important theories about the self, namely Mead's social self and the development of the self, and likewise Cooley's looking glass self. So let's begin with Mead's social self. The main proponent of this theory is George Herbert Mead. George Herbert Mead is an American sociologist from the late 1800s. And his theory, the social self theory, is of two folds. The first one is the development of the self, and the second is the generalized other, the I and the me. Now, this social self theory of George Mead is based on the following perspective. All the different dimensions falling under the social aspect of the self, such as, our personalities, our behaviors, our language, social reactions, what else? Morality, beliefs, and many more are products of our interactions with others. The self, in other words, is not innate. We are not born with it. But we develop who we are by internalizing all our experiences and activities in the society. Okay, naiintindihan ba guys? For example, a child develops his or her behavior of pagiging mayabang kasi yun yung nakikita niyang usually sa kanyang circle of friends or sa family niya. Okay? Now, since the social aspect of the self is developed over time from social experiences, according to Mead, we have the following stages. The stages in the development of the social self are, number one, the preparatory stage or the language stage. The second one is the play stage. And the third one is the game stage. So you have there the descriptions of each of the following stages. All right, let's explain them one by one. The first one is the preparatory stage or the language stage. Develop self by allowing individuals to respond to each other through symbols, sounds, gestures, or words. The preparatory or the language stage is from birth until the age of 2. Children at this stage mimic those around them. Ginagaya yung naririnig nila, pwedeng tao, pwedeng hayop, pwedeng sound ng kung anong bagay man yan. Children can memorize what had been read to them. Language in TV or radio may be adopted by the children. The children do not have any idea of what they're saying. This is the reason why parents do not want you, okay, to use foul language kapag may mga bata. Okay, lalo na yung may 1-year-old or 2 years old sa loob ng bahay. Bakit? Kasi they mimic, ginagaya nila yung mga naririnig nila sa paligid. Okay? And that they can easily memorize those things na naririnig nila. Okay? Now, particularly sa language sa TV or radio, maybe adapted by children, lalo na yung mga TV shows na merong mga foul words such as nagsasabi ng buwisit, mga ganun, tanga, siraulo, gago, na-adapt nila yon. Okay? The next stage is the play stage. Develop self by allowing individuals to take different roles, express what you expect, pretend, and role play. In other words, sa play stage, this happens about 2 to 6 years old. Children play at this stage. They do not adhere to rules. Children pretend, and when they pretend, they literally play the role they are playing as they usually see them. Okay? When you play with children at this age, it's easier to just go with any rules they come up with. Okay? When they play, for example, bahay-bahayan, yung role nila, say for example, ng mommy or daddy, it is actually copied from what they actually see at home. Kung ano yung nakikita nila sa bahay, yun yung niro-role play ng mga bata at this stage. Alright, next, the game stage. The game stage develops self by allowing individuals to understand the rules of the activity and adhere to the rules of the activity. Sa play stage, basta nakalaro, and they would just come up with any rule. However, in the game stage, the child now begins to understand the rules of any activity or any game na nilalaro nila. Anong meron sa game stage? Well, nangyayari to about 7 years old onwards. Children at this stage begin to play formal games. Children begin to understand the generalized others, perspectives. The generalized other is the viewpoint of the social group at large. Children begin to be concerned about the reactions of the significant other on what they do. So, ang difference ng play stage at game stage ay, if in the play stage, for example, yung bahay-bahayan, they imitate the roles that they see at home. Dito naman sa game stage is that when they play bahay-bahayan, say for example, as mommy or daddy, it is now independent of the one residing at home. Secondly, it is in the game stage wherein the child now begins to understand the generalized others, okay, perspective. Okay, ano bang ibig sabihin nitong generalized others? Alright, Mead's two sides of the self, the generalized others theory. A person holds himself or herself in his or her mind, emerges from social interaction with others. Okay, the self is composed of the I and the me. Okay, according to Herbert Mead, the most important thing under the game stage is that children start to be concerned about the reactions of others on what they do. Reactions not of everyone, but by the persons na tinatawag nating the significant others. The significant others are particularly the parents, the siblings, auntie, uncle, grandparents, teachers even, and circle of friends. Okay? This understanding led to the development of the I and the me. Okay, explain muna natin si me, okay, before the I. The me here represents the expectations and attitudes of the generalized others organized into a social self. It is basically the generalized other. Okay, the me is the generalized other. And it is based from past development of the self. The me, particularly, is what the society requires you to be. On the other hand, the I, si I naman ngayon, represents the individual's identity based on the response to the me. And now, the complete self is the combination of the I and the me. Okay? Yung meeting point between the I and the me. If the me is the social self and the I is the response to the me, the combination of the two is the complete self. Say for example, in a basketball game, the me attitude is basically the generalized attitude that a player plays or assumes, while the I is the response of the player himself to the attitude of the team. Okay? In other words, if the me is what the society requires you to be, then the I is your response to the requirements of the society. I hope that's clear. Sana naintindihan yun, But anyway, to better understand the concept of George Herbert Mead on the development of the self and the concept of the I and the me, we have here a short video clip which I got from or I downloaded from from YouTube. So let's watch this so that we can fully understand the social theory of Herbert Mead. Okay, the second theory is the looking glass self of Charles Horton Cooley. This looking glass self theory is a very interesting way of explaining how we perceive who we are and how it actually impacts the creation of our identity. Charles Cooley believed that it was a conversation that we have internally and that three things happen inside our minds. And these three things are the following. First, we figure out who we think we are. Second, we try to understand what other people think about us. And third, after that, we change based on what we think others think about us. In other words, I am not who you think I am. I am not who I think I am, but I am who I think you think I am. What is this saying is that as individuals, we are not just what we believe we are. It is also not what society thinks of us. It is basically a combination or hybrid between the two. We perceive what others view us to be and who they think that we actually are, and we mesh that and internalize it so that it's a never-ending process of us figuring out who we truly are. This looking glass self-theory of Cooley is that the way we perceive ourselves, or I mean, yung self-concept natin, yung self-identity natin, is not based on what we think of ourselves, and it's likewise not based on how others think of who we are, okay, but it is based on how we perceive or how we imagine other people think about us. Nakuha? In other words, yung self-concept natin or self-identity natin is developed based on what I think, kung ano yung iniisip ng iba tungkol sa akin. Okay, it's not based on the actual perception of the other people about me, but what I think they think I am. Okay, let's explain further what looking glass self-theory means. Okay, looking glass self-theory is the part of how we see ourselves comes from our perception of how others see us. How we see ourselves does not come from who we really are, but rather how we believe others see us. Yung in-explain natin kanina. Looking glass self means a person's self grows out of a person's social interactions. Parang ganun din kay Herbert Meads, Okay, it's a product of, the self is a product of social interaction or activities. Labeling bias occurs when we are labeled and others' views and expectations of us are affected by the labeling. Self-labeling happens when we adopt others' labels explicitly into our self-concept. Okay, at times, labels appears to be exaggerated, that it goes beyond the usual internalized prejudice appears. Okay, internalized prejudice, in other words, occurs when individuals turn prejudice directed toward them by others unto themselves. Okay? Now, to explain further the looking glass self-theory of Cooley, we have here a video which I also got from the YouTube. So, guys, those are the three things under the sociological perspectives about the self. And now we have the delocalized self as product of modernization. We also have Mead's development of self, and syempre the generalized others, me and the I. And we also have Cooley's looking glass self.